Sneaky taxes. The bloody French and Indian War was finally over. But what if the Indians attacked again? What if Spain tried to invade? The British were still afraid of losing their colonies, so they decided to keep an army in America. 10,000 British soldiers, called redcoats because of their red jackets, were sent across the ocean. 10,000 men ate a lot of food, and they wore out hundreds of pairs of shoes and suits of clothing. Who would pay for their keep? The British said the colonists should pay. The British Parliament, which made laws for Britain and its colonies, passed the Quartering Act. It said that the colonists had to provide quarters, places to live, for all the redcoats stationed in America. Then the British thought of another way to raise money from the colonies. They would enforce the Navigation Acts, which had been passed in the 1600s but never implemented. The Navigation Act said that the colonists had to buy almost everything they needed from Britain, even when a product could be bought more cheaply from some other country. And not only that, they also had to sell almost everything they produced to Britain, even if they could get better prices elsewhere. It didn't seem fair. So people paid smugglers to bring in illegal foreign goods and to sell the colony's own goods to other countries. They did business with their butcher, their baker, and their smuggler. When the British saw what was going on, they sent warships to patrol the American coast. Smugglers who were caught were fined and imprisoned. This made the colonists angry. The Sugar Act made them even angrier. This act made it very expensive for the colonists to import one of their favorite products, molasses. The Quartering Act, the Navigation Acts, and the Sugar Act seemed to the colonists like sneaky ways of making Britain richer at their expense. Here we go. Let's look at some of these pictures. Here's some people in the middle of the night sneaking some barrels of molasses on. They're doing what's called smuggling. That means when you import something, you bring something into your country illegally without the government knowing about it. Look at this picture. Why couldn't the British raise money at home? The British people were already heavily taxed. There was even a tax on windows, so poor people bricked up their windows to avoid paying the tax. Look at that. He would rather have a bricked up window than glass in his window. And that's Britain. So the taxes weren't just happening in the colonies, they were happening in Britain itself. And here is another picture of some smugglers on a boat, but it looks like those are some British warships that are about to catch them. Here's a redcoat. In addition to providing soldiers with a place to live, the Quartering Act made colonists responsible for furnishing each redcoat with candles, fuel, salt, bedding, and beer. And here, one day a British customs officer seized a ship carrying an illegal cargo of molasses. He left some of his men in charge of the ship and went for help. When he returned, the cargo was gone. So were the ship's sails, anchors, and ropes. 40 armed men with blackened faces, he was told, had carried them off. Here they go. I wonder who they were. Were they the other smugglers trying to help out? Or were they people stealing? Good question to think about.